Okay, there we go. Hello, hello, can everybody hear me? Once again, my computer sounds like it's trying to take off from the cooler that I have on it, even though, like, literally, I don't know if it's, like, the MacBook fans are going at max speed, or if it's... Nah, it's definitely the MacBook fans. The cooler fans are still running at the same speed that they were before. So, yeah. I don't know what to draw today, if I'm being completely honest. Hey, Candor. Hey, Glory. How are you? I am not sure what to draw today, but at the same time, well, the one thing that I have that I can work on, I refuse to work on stream because it is yet another live 2D model, and given the fact that the entire file is at like 150 layers, hang on, let me switch screens actually. Given the fact that the entire file is like 150 layers, I am pretty damn So that's what you sound like. Yes, this is my actual voice. But anyway, like, although I can work on a live 2D model, I won't, because that thing is at 150 layers, and if you can hear my computer right now, which, I mean, it sounds like it wants to take off from my desk, and that is not good. And, yeah, I'm kind of worried that if I do open that file and work on screen, like, my entire MacBook might crash. That's the big issue. Also, I may cut things off at an hour or so just because my throat has not been feeling up to speed. Like, for some reason this entire week I've just been having, like, a sore throat sort of residually if I talk too much. It's like, I'm not sick or anything, it's just, I wake up, it's like, my throat feels kinda off. And then, you know, I go about the day, I talk with my roommate, I get nagged by my mom and blah blah blah, and like, then it's just at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, shit, my throat hurts. I don't know, it might have something to do with the fact that the weather is like getting a lot colder nowadays. And like cold pretty quickly. So because of that, like, the heater's also been on full blast, but like at the same time when you step outside, it just like hits you and stuff, and it's just that transition between, like, you know, freezing and like boiling and stuff might be like taking a toll on me or something, because like I also get pretty bad nasal congestion and stuff that like may or may not also be a product of like dust allergies or something. Which, speaking of dust allergies, I should probably get a vacuum or something. So like, because of that, I've also been getting pretty bad nasal congestion as well. Like, you can't hear it, I think, or at least I hope you can't, but it certainly feels like the entire inside of my nose is just swollen. And like, although I can breathe, it just feels like, you know, just a little bit of congestion where you can breathe clearer, but it's still very much swollen. Yeah. So there's that. And also, it's just, you know, the fact that, like, yeah, I have a dust allergy, and, my roommate isn't here right now, so, just between those of us who are here, I am low-key at war with my roommate right now, because, like, yo, Jim, basically my roommate is kind of a slob. Like, y'all have probably heard me bitch about her in chat one way or another, but yeah, let's just say that she certainly makes no effort to, like, clean the floors, and, you know, when I do, it's just like, you know, I'm the one cleaning it. So it's just like, you know, when are you gonna be, you know, making an effort to clean or something, you know? So yeah, I think I might consider getting just like a small handheld vacuum just for like the rug in my room or something. Because, like, yeah, you know, dust allergy, bad. And also, you know, the heater's on, so God knows how much dust that's collected in there has been, like, circulating in the room and making me miserable. So yeah, that's the current situation with me right now. And I don't know if my throat will last long enough for 2 hours, just because I've been feeling kind of under the weather, so we shall wait and see. For your sanity, ask your roommate to clean, but don't wait for her. It'll just make you unhappier and stuffy. That is true. That is true. I mean, given the fact that her mom is visiting, you know, maybe I can use that as, like, an opportunity to get her to actually clean up the place, you know? Because, like, for once, she actually cleaned up the dishes in the sink. Because, you know, her mom is visiting, so, you know, gotta make the place nice and spiffy, eh? Except, you know, she didn't extend the same courtesy to me. Yeah. Well, her mom will show up and just clean for her. That's how moms are. Uh, I don't know, man, because, her parents actually came in earlier today when I was, like, back in the unit, and, all they did was really sit in her room and, like, try to set up her new keyboard, which, thank God was not a mechanical keyboard. Like, I don't know how long I would last if she legitimately got a mechanical keyboard with blue switches. Because, like, you know, she already complained about how loud I was typing with my old, bad Razer Ornata Chroma keyboard. And, like, those are, like, you know, the quote-unquote hybrid membrane mechanical feeling keyboard. And that one was, like, really loud, if you guys remember. But now that I have, like, you know, the actual mechanical keyboard, like, I can't go back. But, like, yeah, I don't know how I would react if, like, she actually got a keyboard with blues in it, because, like, yeah, she was already complaining about how loud I was typing from her room. She was like, oh, I can hear you typing when you go on, like, you know, giant sprees of, like, you know, tappy tappy tap. Like, are you playing games or something? I'm like, well, okay then. I'll try my best to type quieter. And then, like, you know, when she... Now it's like, you know, her keyboard, she's like, oh, but it's loud, it sounds good. And I'm like, hybrid membrane sounds like they're making condoms. In a way, aren't membrane switches just silicone condoms that you press down upon in order to make the keyboard register a tap? Just, you know, tiny... No, wait, no. Maybe not condoms. It's more like the diaphragm, now that I think about it. Man, Jim, why do you do this to me? Now you're making me remember 11th grade health class! Like, you know, obviously, like, as soon as you mentioned that, this totally went out of, like, the whole... I'm gonna try to forget this conversation next time I type my keyboard. Oh, wait. Yeah, but, funny thing about, 11th grade health class is that, oh man. My 11th grade health class teacher was, certainly something. She was the one who, like, had the unfortunate occurrence of, giving us the talk. Oh wait, hang on. Let me switch to this, because I think I got a thing that I can work on. Properties. Clip Studio Paint. Okay. But yeah, no, she was like in an effort to like make comfort us and say like hey, if you're too uncomfortable to buy your contraceptives from one pharmacy, you can go to the next one down the street, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And if you're still too embarrassed, you can get your 4-year-old cousin to buy it for you, and they can't do shit about it. Because technically it's legal. And I remember just everybody in the class staring at her, like, absolutely mortified at what she said. Just like, man, I swear you could see the blood drain out of everybody's faces. It was something. If I were an 11th grade health teacher, I would definitely want to stick with the pointing finger on the end, just as an aside. Well, this is actually a preparation for next week's stream, just because, like, I felt like preparing something that's not this image for when I'm gaming. Yeah, that's maybe not the best way to defuse that subject. Yeah. Ah, man. That course was wild. Especially since, during, the third quarter of the year, I had my band lesson during lunch period, and that was the one class, like, after lunch. And, like, since, obviously you couldn't eat while, playing an instrument, especially since I play flute, that would be very bad. I'd probably choke. No, wait, I would probably choke. I'd definitely choke, while playing. So, basically the only time that, like, I had to eat lunch was during health class. And I remember, like, one unfortunate day, we were on the, STI unit, and, like, our teacher passed around, like, slides with photos of, like, infections when they were symptomatic. And, well, honestly, I don't know what my classmates were more afraid of, the pictures or me, because you guessed it. Since that was, like, the only period where I can eat lunch, I was eating lunch while looking at those. Like, honestly, it was pretty hilarious, but at the same time, like, I can see why, like, everybody sort of had, like, this silent respect for me, just because, like, they were like, man, ink really is built different. But I mean, one, like, yeah, that's something. Yeah. But what can you do? When you're a hungry student, it's either, skipping lunch, 3 times a week? Or you just develop an iron stomach. And given the fact that, like, back then I was still, like, somewhat considering on, like, maybe getting into med school, I kind of knew that, like, having an iron stomach is kind of an unspoken prerequisite for the position. I remember after the lesson about putting on condoms, some of my classmates wouldn't even eat bananas anymore. Thankfully, our teacher didn't do that, because I'm pretty sure that would get more than a few, unsettling glances from the students. Like, keep in mind, the town that I grew up, that I went to middle school and high school in, like, before I moved there, there's a Victoria's Secret store downtown, and, back when, like, it was opening and stuff, like, people were legitimately protesting its opening, the opening of that location downtown, because they were like, oh, it promotes sexual promiscuity or something. It's just like, dude, it's just underwear. For fuck's sake, yeah, I know. But I mean, what can you do? And my town isn't even like, you know, one of those really like down south pearl clutching ones. It's just, man. And of course, like, you know, speaking of school, like, ah, I also remember the good old days back when you'd go to the bathroom to take a piss, and lo and behold, you'd see like four girls or something huddled in the handicapped stall, all turning the, all essentially vaping their heads off. Like, I think the most notorious bathroom was like the one next to the chem wing. Um, yeah, you'd often see like people just like camping out in there and like vaping during class or something. Actually, I don't remember going in the bathroom and finding a bunch of girls. Strangely, lol. I don't know what goes on in the guys' bathroom, unfortunately, but based on what I heard and the fact that they actually had to take the stalls off of one of the bathrooms because it got so bad, well, I'm pretty sure that you'd find a whole gaggle of dudes vaping as well, but like, I don't know. The guys had like a really big vandalism problem. Like, that was the reason why they had to like take off the stalls of like some of the bathrooms. It was because like they were vandalized that badly. And also they put chickens in the bathrooms once for like a senior prank, and honestly, I didn't find that prank to be too funny because that was like right when I had a some free smoking. Wasn't that big a thing in my school, but yeah, they got vandalized chickens. Okay, yeah, there was like this whole incident during like senior pranks when so for reference, our actual senior prank wasn't that good, to be honest, but some students decided to take it into their own hands and give us a proper senior prank. So they went and like stole, no wait, I think they just outright took chickens from like this egg farm, like with permission, because the chickens were apparently like, you know, too old to lay eggs and whatnot. So they just took these poor hens and like took them to school and like placed them in bathrooms. And you know, I had like a free period during then, so I was just like, you know, chilling and like walking around, you know, hanging about, loitering like a no good student. Yeah, they placed chickens in the bathrooms, and like I remember when I was like walking around on my way to like the cafeteria, I saw like a bunch of like the school's administrators just like walking around with a chicken, and I was like, oh my god, why is it here? And they were like, I don't know, we literally found chickens in the bathrooms. And then like literally as like we were talking, the janitors rung in to like the walkie-talkies that they had, and they were like, we found another one. I was like, oh my god, hang on, just leave the chicken with me, I'll take care of it. Because like that happened while I volunteered at like a raptor care facility, so I took care of many birds, particularly of the meat eating variety. Man, I have a lot of stories about those guys too, but essentially I took care of the chickens while they investigated and saw, like, you know, just how many there were. And I essentially, you know, I obviously had like another teacher with me as well, so like we just prepped like these cardboard boxes, ones that like would hold like these giant stacks of printer paper. We literally just like took 3 of those, and I took a pen and stabbed a whole bunch of holes in the top, just like, you know, give them some air and stuff. And we put the chickens in, got some paper cups from the water cooler, and like I tore them into like, you know, the shape of a small bowl, and just, you know, gave the chickens water as well. And then we were just like, yeah, well, okay, well, what are we gonna do with the chickens? And so, you know, I just sat there with them for like an entire hour, occasionally petting them. And, you know, eventually they found a teacher that was like willing to basically take them immediately and care for them in her family's farm. And, you know, that was the end of the chicken saga. But like, man, honestly, I did not like that prank at all, just because, like, you know, those poor chickens were very obviously distressed. Like, one of them was even trying to peck at me because of like how scared she was. Though, I mean, on the list of worst senior pranks, that one ranks pretty high for me on a moral sort of standpoint. Yeesh, that's pretty obnoxious. Yeah. Best prank I did in school was when I was a band kid and did pep band, and I smuggled a cardboard cutout of Boba Fett that my band director had in his office and arranged for it to pop up in the trumpet section while wearing a school t-shirt in the middle of the fight song. You see, that's a good prank. Nobody gets hurt. Nothing gets hurt. Boba Fett gets to support the school. Unlike what, you know, these children did to those poor chickens. Yeah. Eventually, like, you know, those kids obviously got caught and, like, they faced some pretty nasty repercussions I can't remember, nor can't really be bothered to. So yeah, that was the end of the chicken story. But, man, there was, like, one senior prank that I'd say was worse, and that would be the one that was conducted the year before mine. Oh, man. So essentially, the prank was kind of stupid originally. It was just, you know, people brought watermelons to school and carried them around. That's it. Yeah, I know. It was kind of stupid. But it was what people did after. That was, man. Like, it pissed off everyone. Not just, like, you know, the school administration. It pissed off, like, the entire town. I don't know if we had, like, local news reporting on it or something. But, it pissed off literally every single kid, like, that graduated before. They were, like, alumni were, like, literally online, like, you know, calling the people in the year before mine fucking idiots. We were naturally pissed off because, basically what the kids did with the watermelons after was literally just, like, smash them on school property. Particularly in the stairwells. As you can imagine, watermelon got everywhere and it made, like, the entire place a hazard. And somebody had the audacity to, like, pour an entire bottle of maple syrup on top of it as well. Just, like, down the stairs, and I think somebody actually slipped or something? I don't remember, but, yeah, that was that. Literally, it was so bad that, like, the school administration was, like, considering on actually removing, like, senior privileges and stuff for, like, not just for that class, but everybody after as well. So yeah, naturally, you can imagine that, like, everybody was pissed. Everybody was pissed. Thankfully, nothing got revoked, but, like, yeah, that's one that sounds okay until you, like, do it. Yeah. And I think another year they released like 1,000 crickets, and you could literally you could hear crickets in the school still because they bred in the walls. Yeah. Anyway, to all high schoolers who are possibly watching this, please don't be that kid and ruin everything for the class after you, because everybody will hate you for it. Like, I think that was also the reason why, like, in middle school we used to do a big trip to Washington D.C. and then they stopped doing it. Like, they stopped doing it when I was in 6th grade because somebody fucked up, and, well, now we only get a day trip to New York City to watch a musical because somebody fucked up and ruined it for everybody. Let's see, what else? What else can I talk about right now? Oh yeah, Black Fridays. When was Black Friday, or when is Black Friday? Because I know that 11/11, or Singles Day, has like just passed. Which should be the week after next. Okay. Because like I know that Singles Day just passed in Asian countries. That's like a big sale time as well. So I hope you all did your shopping there. I think, yeah, Glory, weren't you one of the people who were like chasing after merch on Taobao? The 26th. In that case, I have time to do my Black Friday shopping. I thought I almost missed it. Because, broke college student. But yeah, what's everybody planning on grabbing then? I think for me, I'm definitely gonna be doing all my Black Friday shopping online. I don't want to fight the crowds. Actually, no. Have I ever gone Black Friday shopping in person? That is a question. No idea. Haven't really given it much thought. Yeah. I know that there's always good tech deals around them, but like, I obviously can't even think about getting an upgraded GPU for my computer because, crypto. Like, honestly, don't even get me started on the crypto bros. I hate them. Not even from, like, you know, an environmental standpoint and stuff. Just purely from a I want my gamer hardware standpoint. Just come on. I want my goddamn 3060. Gotta get in time for Elden Ring. Not even that. I just want a better GPU for the sake of a better GPU. And a better GPU means I can work. And supposedly, I can get a GPU and attach it to my MacBook via some hideous dongle, and wow, I would have processing power. But you know, crypto bros and their giant ass mining rigs. I guess I'm just gonna have to settle for getting Animal Crossing. Hope Hideous Dongle is my punk band name. When's your first EP gonna get released, Mr. Frontman of Hideous Dongle? Okay. But anyway, sorry if I'm, like, you know, sounding kind of, you know, lifeless. To be fair, I kind of am, because I spent the entire day studying. Studying, not just anything. I was studying quantum mechanics, which, just hearing the name is probably enough to know what kind of headache I'm in. Like, there's a classical physics headache, and then there's a quantum mechanics headache. I've been thinking about getting into music composition for a while, but I haven't actually done it, and work and exhaustion haven't helped and are always the worst in Q4, so next year I hope. Good luck, Jim. It's the same here in school, except at least you have the luxury of having quarters. Of only having to worry about quarters. Me, my pain is year round. But in all seriousness, like, you know, quantum mechanics, like, I mean, I also get paychecks, that part's cool. Yeah, no, I pay to suffer. I pay to suffer. But yeah, quantum mechanics is just not fun. Not fun at all. It's like the worst parts of physics. So, it's like, I'm not even a physics major, for reference. But at the same time, I have to deal with this bullshit because Oh shit. Duplicate layer. Delete outside. Delete inside. Okay, yeah, this one is... Yeah. There we go. But I'm currently suffering through, quantum. It's not fun. At all. I hate it. And the worst part is, like, my professor is... He basically says, like, you know, oh yeah, the textbooks that are currently available suck. So I'm gonna be writing my own. And you guys are gonna be blessed with my first draft. You guys can, imagine how well that's going, right? Also known as not well. I am in pain. Yay. Yay indeed. But yeah, like, honestly, I do not like my quantum portion of the course's prof. He does not know how to teach at all. Like, he spends like a quarter of the class on demos. Sometimes even like, you know, a third of the class on demos. And then he spends the rest of the class literally just like lecturing about the history of the theory and like rambling and stuff and just like going on tangents all over the place. And it's just like, you know, man, that's cool and all, but could you please get to the point? Por favor. We come here not to learn about you rambling on and on about the history of how this stuff was developed. We want to learn science, how this stuff works, and more importantly, how this is all going to be on the exam. Which, judging from the 29 question problem set he provided us, is going to be all math problems, and he did not go over one bit on how to solve them. Yeah, that sucks. Yep. So in other words, I've gone off and just started learning from another textbook because his is useless. Absolutely useless. I had a teacher in law school who was revered but a terrible teacher. Just showed up and told stories. But he was like the most secure teacher in the school because he had connections and could get you a job. I wish everybody in the programs that I'm currently, you know, in, well, yeah, they're all just academia people. The only connections they can get are like, you know, other places in the ivory tower. If I was an engineer, then like maybe they'd have like connections elsewhere, but like, yeah, you know, most of my professors are just, you know, hey, I can introduce you to this other person in the faculty, but nope. When you teach labor law and you're buds with the head of AFL-CIO, that's a US labor law thing, right? If so, that is absolutely powerful. That is absolutely powerful. Yeah, it's like the largest or second largest union in the US. Holy shit. Gotcha. Yeah. That's definitely some powerful connections. Even if you don't go into labor law, just just knowing the guy would probably help, you know? The dude was the real deal, just a lousy teacher. Yeah. Like, I don't doubt that most of my professors are really good at, like, their research. I just very much doubt their abilities as, like, professors. Okay, what next do I have to do? Okay, I gotta color in goggles and then color in eyes. Let's do this. Gotta be back later. Okay, have fun, Jim. Let's see. Gotta color in everything here. Goggles. Okay, now this one is opacity to around 75. No, 50. 50 looks better. What do I talk about now? Oh yeah, so this past week I actually went to Montreal for vacation. Yeah, that was it was actually not really my idea in the first place to go. I originally wanted to use my 1 week break to essentially just be boring and study, but you know, my roommate's friend wanted to go and meet up with some internet buddies there, so unfortunately she dragged my roommate and I there with her, and like, you know, my roommate actually had a pretty good time as well, just because, like, you know, she was also like internet buddies with like that same set of people. For reference, like my roommate and her friend actually met online first, and then, like, you know, they found out, hey, they were going to the same university, so might as well just, like, you know, actually meet up and stuff, and now they're kind of like in inseparable and whatnot. Yeah. So I was hardcore third wheeling. Even more so than I normally am. Yeah. Because, like, for reference, these are people who were more or less well known in the Hetalia fandom, and I left that place a long time ago. And they were like, oh, you should go into Montreal and, like, meet all of our friends and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So I went, and, well, yeah. Basically, when I arrived there and, like, they met up at Yakitori that night, I was regretting my decision already, because, they were just, like, they were talking stuff and chatting up a storm about, like, Hetalia Twitter internet drama or something, and I was just, there just, like, eating yakitori, and, eventually getting a stomach ache, because, all I could do was essentially just eat yakitori and, pretend to not exist, and I ate too much. So yeah, that was fun. And then, essentially the day after, they were like, hey, do you want to go to, like, this person's house? And I was just like, fuck no. I don't know them that well in the first place. You guys can go ahead. I think I'm just gonna yeet away for the rest of the trip. And that's exactly what I did. I went ahead and just basically, I went to the biodome, which is like this essentially like big old repurposed Olympic Park thing that was turned into a sort of zoo. That was actually pretty fun. They had penguins. Only, like, one penguin exhibit, but even so, it was nice. And I got to see penguins and puffins. They also had, like, they essentially had, like, exhibits with, like, all the major biomes. So, there was a penguin exhibit that everybody loves. How can you not love penguins? There was also, the, subtropical zone. They had, like, the, St. Lawrence Gulf, which is, like, that big, which was the, which is the big river, right, that goes through, Montreal. They also had, tropical zone, temperate zone. The temperate zone had, like, a lynx, and honestly, I don't see a big ass, scary mountain cat. All I see is, a big, oversized, kinda tailless, regular cat, because it was, it was playing just as any normal cat would, actually. Just bigger, and could probably claw my face off if it really wanted to. Oh, and they also had these two giant raccoons. Like, they were fat. Like, the size of... I think they were the size of, like, what's a good thing for reference? They were the size of, like, your average hotel pillow. That's how fat they were. And, like, they were just, like, huddled over by the water, doing something. I think they were just like scrubbing tomatoes, and you know they were washing their produce like good little raccoons before eating, I guess. Yeah, they were scrubbing, and eventually one of them lost a tomato and didn't realize it, so he was just scrubbing away even more, except you could see the tomato was just sitting there to his side, not being washed. So yeah, raccoons can be kind of dumb sometimes. And other times they can be pretty smart and also kind of annoying, because my mom actually feeds some cats around my neighborhood. We have like a black cat in a tuxedo that like wander around near our house, and like we leave cat food out for them. Too bad for us. Before I went back home last year for the summer, they used to just like leave the food out in the open at night, and we would get visited by a raccoon who would steal the cat food and then shit on our patio. It was kind of gross. And so, you know, my dad would have to like clean up and stuff, and it was just like, you know, man. So we stopped leaving the food out at night. If the cats want to come, they can come during the daytime. And why is the wind outside so... I don't know if you guys can hear this, but like the wind outside is just blowing really, really harshly. Like, it's been making noises non-stop. I don't know why, but I'm kind of scared to go grocery shopping tomorrow because it's probably going to be cold. Nah, that ain't good. Why are eyes so hard to draw? That is the question. And actually, I should move these 3 dots down. There. that, I think I am ready to shade. Yeah. Though if I'm being completely honest, I'm actually really tired. An entire day of studying was essentially physics has taken quite a toll on me, mentally, sort of. So, like, because of that, you know, I don't know. I feel like I should probably end things here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be ending things now. Just because I'm that tired. So, yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. Hope all your Black Friday shopping needs are, you know, fulfilled and stuff. Make sure to wear a mask, sanitize your hands, get vaccinated if you haven't already, listen to your public health officials. I will be heading to sleep very soon because I am very, very tired from studying all day. So yeah. Next week, I will be streaming something very special, which is why like I've been drawing this all stream. Like, it isn't just a random illustration. I'm actually probably gonna be setting up a PNG, a reactive PNG to use while I'm gaming, because like I feel really bad for just like constantly subjecting everybody to the technical difficulties image. So yeah, I've prepared this for hopefully next week, where we'll be getting my first biology lecture. I promise it will not be a dry and boring PowerPoint. I will have something much more fun for everybody to learn with while actually going on and lecturing about theory as I remember it. Keep in mind, I am only a third-year undergraduate biology student, so, yeah. And, like, I'm not even an evolutionary biologist or ecologist. I'm studying to be a microbiologist, so, I mean, based on that information, like, you know, you can probably guess what game I'm gonna be playing. Hopefully it's light enough for, my computer to not explode while I play it. So yeah, I will see you all next week. Thank you for coming, and I will be off to sleep now. Good